and the intake noise is insane. Oh man, this car is perfect now. Okay, Gaffer.
All right, Tim.
I've just got in, guys, and my car is very warm considering it's only like, what is the time? 7 o'clock in the morning. So guys, Mark has obviously been out. So yesterday, just give you guys some background. I took the car out after we did the flex fuel. Loved it. E30 felt very, very strong. But Mark, we're doing a custom tune with ODIN.
Yep, we're at about E45 at the minute.
Yep.
I think we're 3 revisions in.
Cool. So the 99 is done.
Yeah, 99's
done and dusted. So if I wanted to run a 99, I just go to map 1 on the
map slot 1, yeah.
Map slot 1 on the multi-map, and then map 2.
Map slot 2 will be the E45 map.
Cool. And then that means what exactly?
You've got to run E45. But we're going to put the flex fuel in map slot 3.
Okay.
So you can run anything from 99 to 45.
And it will just automatically adjust. So I can practically leave that on the whole time. Unless I knew I was going to an event where it was just going to be like Santa Pod and I knew I was going to run ethanol. But again, I could probably just leave it.
Flex fuel.
But the map has to have a 99 and an E whatever max for flex fuel to work. So it's got to set those parameters.
Anywhere in between there.
Okay, cool. And in terms of this, because what you said to me on the phone when I rang you, and I was just like a little kid at Christmas, you said something about the HPFP isn't, I don't know if you guys can see it, but over here, HPFP target and HPFP actual. I'm probably going to try and get a download of this, guys, so you guys can see as well. You're saying there's room for more?
Yeah. Fuel pump's all right with that. Got no timing corrections. So I think ODIN will give us a couple more revisions on this still.
Cool. And once that happens, we're running what, 550, 560 brake?
600 maybe.
Yeah, love it. Okay, cool. So for those people that don't know, you go onto the website, you find the ODIN tune page, and you can ask for 4 maps, 3 maps, whatever you want. And then he just goes forward and back, because you were saying that you take the car out and do a
couple of data logs, third to fourth
gear. So all the way through third, and then just into fourth, and just let the car roll, and then send that off to him.
Yeah. Then he'll send another map back.
Revision back. So he looks at the data. So this sort of data that doesn't make any sense to me or you.
And he'll make adjustments from what he's getting here.
Sure. Cool. And then once that's done, he'll send it to you. You flash it again.
That's your final map.
Oh, wicked. And this, in my opinion, is it better than an off-the-shelf map?
Yeah, definitely.
And what's the biggest selling point of a custom map?
It's smoother. Normally make more power.
That's definitely something I need to agree on, because yesterday's one, when I flashed the Stage 2 Plus off-the-shelf off-the-shelf multi-map, and I went to E30, I noticed that it was good at one point and then bad at one point. It wasn't really consistent. Right. But I think now, once we're going to get a set parameter and the car is specific, it's going to be great.
You know, it'll be perfect for your car.
Yeah, and I think something else to note is when you told me that we were going to do this, you said ODIN wanted to know everything. So he said wanted to know what socks I was wearing, what boxer shorts. No, I'm joking. You said like even down to the intake. And luckily the intake was done on Monday. So luckily that's all now made sense, because he's factored that in. And if we ran an off-the-shelf map, that wouldn't probably factor in that we run an MST intake and everything like that. They use probably like stock intake and stuff like that. So yeah, guys, I'm going to let Mark get out, because in terms of doing the data logs, that 600, 700 brake, this guy does it on a daily, so that's probably a bit much for you. So I'm going to let him crack on, do some more data logs at our lovely rolling road up here in Cramlington. It's nice and safe. And James, just want to say, you got smoked, mate. Okay, so you joined me the day after on my way back home from Williams Performance. A good 3-day trip. If you're not sure what we've done, I'm going to probably link the videos that I filmed while I was up there in the description. So number 1, we've got an MST intake, which sounds absolutely epic. I've also done some testing, so the intake air temperatures are actually colder than the stock box, and I know the stock box is great. I ran an ITG air filter in there and it improved the brake horsepower, probably about 3 or 5 bhp, but nonetheless still an increase. And the MST number 1 sounds epic. Listen to the spool. Savage. Sounds absolutely amazing. After that, we did something called flex fuel, which allows you to change allows the car actually to automatically change the amount of timing and the amount of power you're getting essentially based on the type of fuel you've got in the car. So say if I've got 99 run, it's probably going to give me about 480, 470 brake. Don't quote me on that, but around that figure. If I put ethanol in there, say if I put 10% of ethanol in there, mixed it and got the E10 essentially, a good blend of ethanol and petrol, it would give me a certain amount, 480 or just, this is just numbers. If I put E30 in there, I'd probably be knocking on about 490 brake horsepower. And then if I put E40 in there, then it would automatically adjust to about 502, which is what Odin, based on my logs, he estimates that this is making around 502 brake horsepower. So again, big shout out to Odin for his time, the way that he done all of the revisions on the map, forward and back, a few logs on the road, sent it back to them, a few logs on the road, sent back. Obviously the logs were about 30 to 70 mile an hour, nothing silly. So once I'd done that, he wasn't going to let go until it was ringing bang on. He also found that there was something pulling time in, so he said, okay, we're going to adjust this, go back and test. I've also stuck my track pads in, so I've got a track day in a few days' time. So if you hear any squeaking, you know where it's coming from. But yeah, I can't thank Odin enough. In terms of a custom map, if you are running stage 2+, do it. And the fact that I know ethanol's a tad bit expensive, but for a track day or for like a weekend hoon, it's an absolute laugh. So 500 brake horsepower with an E40 mix. Let's just say, I think this is I'm quite sure we managed to get an E40 mix. In terms of calculating, it is a bit tricky, so I probably recommend you to get an app and just try and figure out how much you've got in there and then go from there, because this is a 50 litre tank, 25 litres, and then work your way forward from there. But 502 brake, it brings the question, why do you need a turbo? But there's always more. We always want more, don't we, lads? So just a little second gear pull here. Wow. Ooh, mate. And the intake noise is insane. Oh man, this car is perfect now. Wow, the way it gets to 50, boy. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So let's get this straight. HPFP is a B58 TU pump. We've got an ethanol mix in the car, and it just transformed the car. And the thing is, when we did arrange the map, one of the things that me and Mark requested from Odin is that this car primarily will be used for track, and in fact, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll make it in time. We'll be set, ready, and I'll personally be ready for time attack next year. Whether that's a single round or whether that's entire championship, I'm not sure yet. But the thing we did ask is, we needed to ensure that in gears 1 and 2, we're not getting tons of boost, and that's the difference between going from a custom map and an off-the-shelf map. Because the off-the-shelf map in gear 1 and 2, don't get me wrong, the off-the-shelf maps from Bootmod3 are great, but for the way that I'm going to drive and the fact that it is on track, I kind of need to make sure those 2 gears weren't as spiky. So he's nailed it, like I said, in gear 2 and in gear 1, when you are pushing, not that I'm going to use first gear on track, but in second gear, like even now, we're doing about, I don't know, 22 mile an hour, second gear, foot down. It's rapid, but there's no wheel spin, which isn't something that I was experiencing before. Before, second gear, foot down, rear end going out, giving it a bit of the old squeaky bum time. But again, third gear here, about 30 miles an hour. The power, I love this word, it is linear. It's just smooth, it's all off the throttle. It's all off the throttle, and I know Sport Plus has got that weird, aggressive throttle map, and DSC off hasn't, which is great, but it is a bit dangerous on the road. But as far as you know what you're doing, you'll be okay. But again, I cannot recommend the custom map enough. Look at that. It's rapid. Like I said, I'm gripping the wheel, not for dear life, because I know what I'm doing, kind of, but more so I'm gripping the wheel because it's what I've been used to. I've been used to having a car that's very powerful, very punchy, and it just rings a bell in my head. I've always said it's not about power. And I know, yes, Tim, you've got a 502 brake horsepower car on ethanol. I've always said methanol, but it's definitely ethanol. But the power is there, but you don't need aggressive power. The power that I've got now is more controllable power. Like, you can have two cars, both rated at 500 brake horsepower, but one has a slightly different map and the other has a slightly different map, and one will feel a lot better to drive than the other one. And that's simply down to everything, the timing, the way the boost come in, because with what Odin done, obviously you can adjust where the boost comes in, and it's perfect, because if you do get boost coming in quite low down, you're going to get loads of lag, which isn't going to help you coming out of turns. Yeah, I'm not clued enough. I'm not clued up enough or intelligent enough to explain the ins and outs of a custom map. Him and Odin went back to back on a few things, agreed on a few things, differed on a few things, and they come to the conclusion that this is the best map. And Mark's obviously been out and driven the car, I've driven the car, driving the car, and it's bang on. It is absolutely bang on. So do I recommend the custom map? I've had this conversation a few times. Not if you're just doing, I don't know, a stage 2. Because I feel with the supporting mods, that's where you really, really do benefit. Don't get me wrong, you probably will gain a few more things, but a custom map, its bread and butter is when it's been customized, and that's making sure everything from, I don't know, boost to timing is all bang on, and it also changes how the car drives. I didn't think that DSC off would feel like this. Don't get me wrong, it will kill me, it will try and kill me, but the difference is now it will only kill me if I let it kill me. I can control this a lot more. So guys, as usual, if you have enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully with some fuel in the car, and also maybe on a track day. God bless. Oh my god, that third gear is ruthless.